Welcome to the Frederica Academy Nights Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick. Brought to you by St. Simon Seafood, Jenkins Nissan, the Emerald Princess, Apple Care Immediate Care, Misty's Element Massage, and by Catch 228. Now here is the voice of the Frederica Academy Nights, John Wetzler.
Well, welcome back to the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm John Wetzler on location at Catch 228 here again in Redford Village on St. Simon's Island, where we've been each week of the football season and where we will continue to be each and every week on Thursday nights at 6:30 throughout the season. This segment of the Brandon Derrick Show is sponsored by Emerald Princess, by Apple Care Immediate Care, by St. Simon's Seafood, by Misty's Element Massage, Jenkins Nissan, and Catch 228, who is also our host. And now joining us for the Brandon Derrick Show is head coach of Frederica Academy Nights, Brandon Derrick.
Hope everybody's having a good night. Thanks for coming out.
Well, we played Valwood, sort of the perennial powerhouse in the GISA last week. They had some big old boys. I was told up in the press box, number 13 has a full ride to Rutgers. Is that right?
That is correct. He is verbally committed to Rutgers.
Yeah, and they had a number of other guys that were very athletic all across the board. And but it was the first half was probably one of the most exciting football games I've ever seen. We played with them, back and forth.
Our kids did well in the first half. We didn't get a couple breaks. I go back and watch film. We got tripped on one that Hollis gets us across the middle that he might have been able to take to the house for an 80-yard touchdown, put us up 7-0. And then of course Graham Olivieri picked it off and ran it back and put us up again, put us up 7. And then we get a fumble, which made my blood pressure go above probably 120. When the referee on the far side decided that it wasn't our fumble, that he was going to give the ball back to Valwood, which might have turned around and we had the ball on the 48 going in. If we get 20 yards, might be in field goal range, and maybe it's 17-0. It's a totally different ball game, But at the end of the first quarter, it's 7-0, and we were right in the middle of it, playing pretty hard. I thought the kids were giving great effort. They gave great effort all night. But Valwood, as you said, they were a perennial power. They're going to be one of probably the top 4 teams in the league this year that going to be right in the middle of it. So we know where we have to be, and we know what we have to work to get to. So it was a sign of what we need to be working towards, and I think the kids have accepted it, and we've moved on, and we're preparing this week for Bethesda.
Yeah. Defense did, during that first half, defense looked great. I mean, offense, looked good too, but their offense really wasn't able to move the ball on us really at all during the first half.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit first half. They threw the ball 22 times. I hadn't seen a team in a long time in high school come out throwing the ball like they threw the ball, and they were 9 for 22 and had like 70 yards. I think we held them about 140 yards in the first half and created a turnover. Should have been 2. But our defense really bowed its neck, played hard. I thought the kids did a good job. They made their adjustments. They read their keys. They laugh all the time when I say read your keys, but when you start doing that kind of stuff, it pays off when you do as you're coached. And a lot of times when we went back and watched the film, the kids are right there to make the plays.
Yeah, and they, of course, had 45 on their roster.
Oh, yeah.
For Valwood.
They had 45, and they were pretty good. They were rolling in 11 at a time sometimes.
Yeah, I was noticing that, and 16 seniors they had on their team, which was 3/4 of the amount of total players on our team. But I say all that to say, I think my perspective on it is, from the Tift area game, which we were not favored to win and almost won and should have won, and the way we played against them, a team with superior numbers and ability to roll players in and out, and then to play against Valwood the way we did. I think in the GISA AAA category, I think we're developing a reputation of a team that you can't look past. Even if from some of these big schools that are favored
Oh yeah, we've jumped 2 classifications, and we went into AAA, and a lot of people thought I was crazy. I've said this before. We're going to find out how good we're going to be early on this part of the season. This next week, or this Friday night that we play Bethesda, we're going to face another very athletic football team, very fast, going to bring a lot of pressure on defense. Offensively, they're going to spread us out. We're going to have to be running the lanes right and doing things correctly on defense, or could be a struggle for us.
All right, this is the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. So when you talk about Bethesda being fast, and compare, if you will, them to Tift area, for example, as far as size and depth, and are they going to be more like a Tift area, or they're somewhere in between Tift and Valwood, or somewhere in between Tift and St. Andrews?
I would say they're probably between a Tift and Valwood athletically.
Wow.
They've got 35 kids, and they're going to be rolling them in, and they've got some speed. I would not say, and I don't want to make this sound negative towards Coach Turner or anything, they're not as disciplined and they're not as physical as Valwood was. I mean, when Valwood broke the huddle, that was a mass of humanity coming up to the front line. Those guys were 275, 280, but, the tight end was 6'5", 230?
Yeah.
And he was the kid that had signed at Rutgers. So when you're the tight end catching a pass out of the backfield, we've got our little 5'11" or 5'8" defensive back trying to guard you. We're giving away 8 to 9 inches, and we're also giving away another 100 pounds on top of that. But I would say they're in between Tift and Valwood athletically. I don't know if they're as disciplined or as in shape. I mean, Valwood, they had the ability to take 11 guys off the field and put 11 guys on the field. And I think this week we're going to see a Bethesda team that's got to play probably roughly 20 kids that it's going to be seeing field both ways. I mean, they dress about 35. But, we're only rolling about 14 or 15.
Yeah.
And trying to get breathers for people. And so it's going to be a test of the willpower of both teams, I think, and it's really going to come down if we can keep them in front of us and make them drive 80 yards. They're going to make mistakes, and if we can make them drive the ball 80 yards instead of making a run for 70 yards, we have a chance on defense. We can't let them break a big play. And we're going to have to sustain drives. Talked about it all week with the offense. We're going to have to be able to sustain some drives and keep the defense off the field to be successful now and in the future.
Valwood kind of broke our back a little bit towards the second half with that hurry-up offense. When they just quit huddling, and they were getting their signals in, hand signals or whatever it was, and they're taking 15 seconds to, between plays, back on the line of scrimmage. And we got the majority of our guys, that just got done with an offensive series that are out there for these defensive series with, no huddle, hurry up offense kind of thing going, and they've got fresh legs to come in. I mean, that's pretty hard to contend with.
It is, and that's what happened in the second half. It wasn't that we weren't in the right place. We were about a half a step slower than what we were in the first half.
Yeah.
The kids were there. You can watch it on film. We're at a point we just get physically fatigued.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how could you not? But more to come on the Coach Brandon Derrick Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Right now, we are going to take a word from our sponsors.
The Emerald Princess Casino is celebrating 25 years with a special $25 gift for you. Wow, 25 years. Celebrate with this special $25 offer on our Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening cruises now through December. Limited $125 value offer per person per cruise. Call for details. For reservations, call 800-842-0115 or visit emeraldprincesscasino.com. Call for offer limitations. Must be 18 years of age and present a government-issued photo ID to board.
I'm Jenkins Nissan.
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 I am Jenkins Nissan.
I'm Donnie Jenkins. We're all Jenkins Nissan, and together we want to show you just how easy buying and servicing your car should be. So please, stop by and experience the Jenkins Nissan difference. Look for the red and white Nissan tent at the corner of Chapel Crossing Road and the Spur, or visit us online at jenkinsnissanofbrunswick.com.
Get affordable health care when you need it. At Apple Care Immediate Care, our team of compassionate healthcare providers is dedicated to treating each patient with the highest standard in healthcare. Located at 1111 Glencoe Parkway, AppleCare is open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. AppleCare welcomes all walk-ins from pediatric to adult ages and accepts most insurance plans. Visit us at applecaredoctors.com and like us on Facebook.
Well, welcome back to the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I'm John Wetzler, on location from Catch 228 in Redfern Village on St. Simon's. This segment is brought to you by the Emerald Princess, Jenkins Nissan, and by AppleCare Immediate Care. All right, Coach. Well, we got. I guess we've talked about Valwood and about how the first half went and how the second half went. And by the way, did Brandon Blake get the interception, or was that?
That was Graham.
Okay. You know what? I got that wrong. I apologize.
Apologize to his mom.
I apologize. I'm sorry about that. I want to correct that.
Mr. Graham was over there. He took it all the way to the house.
Sorry about that. It happens a lot with me. But, I do apologize for that because that is important. So, all right, putting Valwood behind us and looking to the future with what we got on our plate this week for homecoming. Talk about the defense of Bethesda. What are we looking at? Are they big? Are they small and quick and fast? I mean, what do we got there?
They're a mixture up front. They're going to be running it's really a 3-5. That's what it's going to look like. It's a 3-5-3 type defense.
Okay.
Their front three, their nose and two defensive ends are pretty good size, and then their Mike linebackers, he's pretty good. Then they're going to be blitzing everybody from the edges. They're a pressure defense. They want you to break down, and then they want to try to swarm and get to you. They're not a read and react kind of group like us. We read and react to what's going on in front of us a lot. They're more of a blitz and get after you, hopefully that you stop, and they can all swarm and get to the football. They lock up a lot man-to-man in the secondary, so, we got to hope that maybe they get their eyes in the backfield. We can slip somebody behind them every now and then, and we can complete it. But we're going to have to keep them off balance by running screens, and we're going to try to run some power football at them. It's going to look a little different when we run it, but it's going to be a power football type set.
Yeah. Now, from anything going to be different? I mean, I don't think they're listening to the radio show. They might be, but you look for much difference from our defense to be able to deal with their strengths on offense and exploit any weaknesses they've got.
Well, we're defensively this week a little bit more challenging. I think maybe it was me. I went in and we have 6 or 7 checks that we're going to have to do and know and get lined up correctly. We put in a few things for our defensive linemen to do some slants and studs and some loops and all kinds of things. So they have to be good when they slant and stunt and do all that and get in their gaps and control it and be down the line. We can't be running up the field. So that's going to be imperative for us defensively. But mainly in the secondary, it's read and react like we have been. Let's just keep them in front of us, make them drive, not let them break anything. Linebackers reading the same keys. I mean, we've faced spread teams all year, it seems like, so it's not been a big change. They do try to get in there foot to foot with a double tight end wing type set and try to play power football with us, and we're going to get down in there in a 5-man front, and we're going to play some football with them and see who's going to be. And if they're successful, I told the kids this, if they're successful, they'll line up in that power set and run it over and over and over until we stop them.
Yeah. So there's not a whole lot of adaptations that you see specifically tailored to have to deal with their offense. We're just going to do what we do. We're
going to do what we do and just get better at what we do.
Yeah.
And we're not doing anything fancy. Our kids have done a really good job of running the defense and being very successful at it. And if you start trying to mess with a whole lot, then that puts them trying to think too much, not reacting enough.
Yeah, one of the things that just stood out to me and everybody up in the press box was in the first half last week, for example, and in the Tift area game, was how well we were containing on the defensive line. We've got Ty Gardner getting up in there and just causing havoc every play. We got Drew Brunson penetrating up there, containing on that end, and just a number of other guys that just seem like they've really been controlling the line of scrimmage for the most part, even against superior numbered outmatched teams that that as far as the perspective of the world is concerned. What can you say about that, about their improvement, and about what you're seeing from them?
Well, our front four, we talk about it every week, our front 4 and 7, that front 7, those 4 linemen and those 3 linebackers have been imperative to our success. They've been outstanding so far.
Yeah.
When you have Drew, Dawson, Ty, and John Mitchell, they've been very good up front with Brandon Blake, Cameron, and we roll Rhett. We've got Adam in there, so we've got those 7 guys, 8 guys that are rolling in and out at that position. They've done an outstanding job.
You are listening to the Coach Brandon Derrick Show on the Bishop Media Sports Network. That's been the seems like the anchor has been that core group right there. That's and of course it seems like the secondary is getting better and better as well.
They are. It's like I said, we're a youthful bunch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not playing a whole lot of seniors. We got 2 or 3 on the defense, and then the rest are juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. I think we're playing. Sometimes we have 4, maybe 5 freshmen on the field at one time on defense, and you don't see a lot of teams doing that. Bellwood rolls out there with 16 seniors. Tipped area had 15 seniors, and here we are playing with 4 or 5 freshmen at a time out on defense. So. The future's bright, but like I tell the kids, our motto this week is we got to quit worrying about let's be good for a half. We got to learn how to play 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Because, like I just said during the commercial break, Calvary's not coming. This is it. This is what we got to go with. This is the 23.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to go out there and battle, and it's going to get tough in the 3rd and the 4th quarters, and somewhere down deep inside they're going to have to dig, and we put them through some tests. They've survived TIF, they've survived Bellwood, and they lived through Robert Toombs football camp. So we ought to be pretty battle tested, but we're still going to have some tests from here on out. I've said it since St. Andrews. It's 9 straight weeks of very tough football, and that's what we're going to be playing.
Yeah. So you guys still do just as much conditioning every week as you've always done? You don't back off at all?
No, we Coach Burkett and I kind of got together and we've tried to figure out a little system. Monday and Tuesday is a lot of conditioning. I think maybe Tuesday at about 6 o'clock, the kids didn't have any legs under them. We were lucky if we could get them drug off the field. They'd push sleds during the weights, and then we did a little conditioning. But we do not condition on Wednesday and Thursday anymore just to get their legs under them. And, of course, every one of them's getting dipped in the ice bath, Wednesday and Thursday. Kids are jumping in the ice tub, and I think Hollis lives in it for about 2 periods at school every day. Then he gets out of it all refreshed and ready to go. But I even caught Coach Burkett in the ice bath today with it, and it's up to his knees, just trying to get his feet rested. So I don't know if that, and he'd just been on the lawnmower, so I don't even know what he'd been doing. So when he come in, he was like, "Phew, I feel a lot better from the knees down. I feel pretty good, So we got the kids getting ice baths, and we're trying to, Ashley's doing a good job of trying to get them hydrated, and we've been on them about nutrition. They just got to stay drinking water and Gatorade, stay away from Coca-Cola.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we will be right back to the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network.
Relax. Misty's Element Massage specializes in helping you do just that. Located at 138 Village Market on St. Simon's Island, Misty's Element Massage offers deep tissue massages, therapeutic massages, scrubs, creams, body wraps, and much more. The perfect gift for that special someone, not to mention sports massages for that aching muscle. Schedule your appointment today at 912-224-0198 or on the web at mistyselement.com.
Fresh local seafood on St. Simon's Island? St. Simon's Seafood, located at 2463 Demery Road in the shops at Demery Plaza next to Loco's, has everything a seafood lover could want. Wild Georgia shrimp, crab cakes, flounder, you name it, and St. Simon's Seafood has it. Seafood so fresh, it was swimming this morning. So stop into St. Simon's Seafood and check them out on Facebook. St. Simon's Seafood, the island's only fresh seafood market. Catch 228 in Redfern Village on St. Simon's Island is your home for the best seafood around. Oysters, shrimp, fish, you name it. not to mention your island home for NFL Sunday Ticket, Major League Baseball extra innings, college game day, and so much more. Catch 228 is also your home for the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick, and a proud Frederica Academy supporter. So stop on in any night of the week for the best time on St. Simon's and find us on Facebook. Go Knights!
Welcome back to the Frederica Academy Knights Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. I am John Wetzler on location at Catch 228 in Redford Village on St. Simon's Island. This segment is brought to you by Misty's Element Massage and by St. Simon's Seafood. Coach, we're going to talk a little bit about special teams. Last week, Valwood, they had some kind of kicker. He, I think, kicked it out of the end zone every single time. We didn't even have a chance to let old Hollis work his magic because the ball was, going through the uprights just about. So, how do you think that affects, this game coming up? What's their kicker look like, and what kind of special teams advantages do we have?
Well, we have an advantage on special teams. We put in a few wrinkles this week on the punt team and the punt return. Their kicker's not going to be kicking it in the end zone every time. We have to be aware up front. He sometimes is trying to kick it deep, but it ends up being like an onside kick. And he just misses the ball totally every now and then, so we have to be prepared for that.
I mean, is that planned or?
No, it's not planned. He just misses.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, it's me. If I kick too much, that's pretty much what it's going to look like. But so when you begin to look at it, we have to be prepared on the kickoff return team. The hands group does. We got 7 guys spying the football and then trying to set the wedge.
Yeah.
I think we can win the special teams battle. I'd like to get 7 points out of it, which is always big. It's been a factor for us. You know, St. Andrews, we ran an opening kickoff back, ran a punt back, and had another punt called back. It could be a turning point for us. Capitalize on it. We're still working a few things out on ours. Up front, we really worked on protection this week. We felt like we had a few get through, so we worked on protection a bunch this week. Angle kicking it. And on kickoff, about the same for us. We're going to try to angle kick it down there and keep them pinned in the corner and, break down and make a tackle.
Yeah. And John Mitchell gets good hang time. Did you just mention that?
Yeah, he does a good job of punting for us most of the time. We just got to get good angles and pin it back. And, of course, hopefully our offense will not be starting at the 20-yard line every time. That's what happened kind of last week with Valwood. The thing that really bothered me the most was the fumble that we didn't get at flip field position. Nobody really thinks about that, but the defense did hold them, made them punt, but they punted us down to our 11-yard line. Yeah. So then when we turned around and punt, we punted it back out to the 30. Well, they had the ball on the 30 going in, so it flipped field position. Now, a lot of people don't think about that. They think, well, we just lost the fumble, blah, blah, blah. In the back of my head, we just flipped field position. Even if we had to punt it, we could have punted them down on their 20 or 15 and pinned them down and played defense, and then it would have been an 85-yard drive instead of a 30-yard drive. So when you start looking at a few things and things like that, that was a big play for us in the football game. It was a turning point, and it wasn't one that the kids created. It was a turning point that the referee created, and that kind of bothered me most.
Well, it bothered everybody. I don't understand. What do we have? Instant replay now in high school football, or there was 2 refs that gave us the ball, right?
Oh yeah. Well, there were 5 that threw the beanbag, which means if the beanbag's on the ground, it's a fumble.
Yeah.
And then the guy on the far sideline, which apparently was getting paid by the Valwood administration. I'm not sure how that was working out.
We don't have more money than that?
I don't know. The refs here don't like us at all. I think it's because I worked for someone here recently, but that's kind of led to the refs not liking me. But we're to the point now that should have been our football, and that's what I told the guy in a really nice way. And I took my headsets off, so I couldn't get anybody in trouble. So I could plead the fifth on that one. But so I went out and we discussed it, but the one guy made the call, and that's what really bothered me the most.
And overrode all the rest of them.
And he overrode all of them.
I did not understand that, and I've never seen anything like it before in high school football. But what can we do? And it just was such like you said, it was a momentum shifter. But it's in the past. This is the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. So overall, it's homecoming. We got, we're going to have a big crowd. How do they travel? How does Bethesda travel? How far away are they? I don't even know what
they're out of Savannah.
Okay.
I'm not sure how well they travel. Probably not going to be like Valwood.
Yeah.
I noticed that Friday night we had a huge crowd.
Yeah.
Great support, a lot of fans. That was awesome. And for the most part, they were into the game. Well into the third quarter.
Yeah.
And I hope we have that same kind of turnout this Friday. Of course, homecoming, it's an obstacle too in itself at school. The kids really get involved with homecoming. Our biggest things I keep trying to tell them, stay focused. Yeah. Want them to have a good time, but be focused on the task at hand. And they've done a pretty good job this week.
Yeah.
We've not been as focused as I'd like to be at times in practice, but we've gotten a little bit better as the week went along.
Probably one of the biggest things that you guys that are here need to do is start drinking water right now, and not stop drinking water until kickoff, because,
it's imperative for us because we're playing kids both ways so much to stay hydrated, stay healthy.
But we have been relatively, we've had some cramping up, through the games, but hasn't been as bad as it's been in previous years.
We're in shape. It just gets to the point of game shape, and the first 2 or 3 games is that way. You kind of work it out, and you get over that hump, and the kids get used to it.
Body goes numb.
Yeah, but now it's getting to a mental stage. That's what it's coming down to. Can I keep calling myself back in there and keep playing hard and making the plays, and stay that half a step quicker? Stay like you were in the first quarter, instead of being a half step slower in the third quarter. It's going to happen, but you got to kind of will yourself through it, and that's what we're going to have to do as we go on through this season.
So Bethesda, they're a region game. They're
non-region.
They're non-region.
Yes.
Okay, so they're not going to affect whether or not we get to go to the playoffs.
No.
So what do we got to do? Our goal, I would think, is to make the playoffs at this point, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So our objective is make the playoffs. What do we got to do that?
We're going to have to win. We need to beat Trinity, Bullock, Pinewood, and Edmund Burke.
Okay.
My objective is not just to make the playoffs, but hopefully win the region championship. That's our goal.
Yeah.
We don't play the Valwoods and the Tift areas and the Robert Toombs to just go out there and say, okay, well, we gave them a good competition. We're preparing ourselves for that 4-game stretch that hopefully that we're going to be able to go out there and execute and make things happen on the road and at home, and get ourselves mentally and physically ready to play that. And I think sometimes when you play competition that's very good, that the game becomes easier when you start playing opponents that aren't as good as those. And that's what my goal is right now, is to prepare our kids for those 4 games. And if we can come out of those 4 games 4-0, then we've done our job, and we'll be playing at home in the first round of the playoffs.
And that's a reasonable expectation.
Yes, it is right now with looking at our region. Everybody's pretty even.
Well, good deal. Thanks again, Coach, for joining us out here at Catch 228 for the Frederica Academy Coaches Show with head coach Brandon Derrick on the Bishop Media Sports Network. Come out to Catch 228 Redford Village on St. Simon's Island and join us every Thursday night at 6:30 for the Coach Brandon Derrick Show. We have live music usually preceding and following our little show here, and it's just a good time. We're out here on the porch. They got great food here, great service, and nice weather. It's covered in case it rains, so come see us. And thanks again, Coach.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, fans.